Are you sure about the 2027 Toyota BZ? With its futuristic design, all-electric performance, and the Toyota name behind it, it looks like the perfect EV. But is it really worth the price you'll pay? Before you commit, let's take a closer look at the real-world feedback, past complaints, and whether Toyota has truly stepped up in this new generation. Identifying unresolved complaints is key to making a smart, confident decision about the Toyota BZ. Here's a clear breakdown of issues that have persisted across model years, why they matter, and what they mean for you as a buyer. 1. Charging speed. You know that feeling when you're on a long road trip, hungry, and you finally pull into a drive-thru, but it turns out it's the slowest drive-thru on Earth? Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like driving the AWD Toyota BZ4X and needing a fast charge. See, one of the biggest complaints from owners in the past few years has been the charging speed, especially with the all-wheel drive version. On paper, it's an EV. You'd expect decent performance at a DC fast charger. But in reality, you might be sitting there a lot longer than you expected. And that matters, because when you're on the road, every extra minute at a charger adds up. It's not just about the time, it's the inconvenience, the detours, the planning. And for folks switching from gas to electric, that slow charging speed can feel like a serious step backwards. Now, Toyota's made some improvements, mostly in how the battery handles heat, but the core issue? Still tied to the platform and the battery supplier. In other words, the hardware just isn't built for speed. So yeah, the 2027 Toyota BZ is a great car in many ways. But if your road trips are long and your patience is short, charging speed is something to think twice about. 2. Cold weather performance. It's winter. You're bundled up, you've scraped the ice off your windshield, coffee in hand, ready to hit the road. You check your Toyota BZ4X range, and bam, it's dropped way more than you expected. Like a lot more. That's what a lot of BZ4X owners have been dealing with in cold weather. The complaint? This EV's range takes a pretty steep dive when temps drop, even worse than some other electric cars. Now, why does this matter? Because when it's freezing outside, the last thing you want to worry about is whether your car is going to make it to the next charger. That kind of range anxiety in the cold? Not fun. It can make every drive feel like a gamble, especially if you're not near a major city or charging network. Toyota has tried to help with some software updates and preconditioning features. Basically, tech that warms up the battery before you drive. But the truth is, the battery chemistry and thermal system just don't match up to what you'll find in a Tesla or something built on Hyundai's eGPI platform. So yeah, if you live somewhere where cold means more than just a chilly breeze, you'll definitely want to think twice about how the 2027 Toyota BZ handles winter. 3. Limited real-world range. All right, let's talk about something a lot of BZ owners have brought up, real-world range. So, on paper, the BZ looks pretty solid, around 250 to 270 miles of range, according to the EPA. Not bad, right? But here's the thing. In real life, where you've got hills, traffic, maybe a little lead foot, or hot and cold weather swings that range, yeah, it tends to shrink, sometimes by a lot. It's kind of like booking a hotel that says it's a 5-minute walk to the beach, but when you actually get there, it's more like 20 minutes through back alleys and construction zones. Technically not a lie, but definitely not what you expected. And that matters. Because if you're planning long commutes with 2027 Toyota BZ, weekend getaways, or even just running errands across town, that missing mileage can throw off your plans. Suddenly you're making extra stops to charge, or second-guessing if you've got enough juice to make it home. Part of the reason? The BZ uses Toyota's ETNGA platform, which wasn't built ground up for EVs, plus battery packs from Panasonic and CATL that just don't squeeze out as much performance as, say, Tesla or Hyundai systems. So yeah, what looks fine on a spec sheet might feel a little underwhelming when the rubber meets the road. 4. Infotainment system glitches. Okay, let's talk tech, specifically the infotainment system in the Toyota BZ. So here's the deal. For a car that looks futuristic and runs on electrons, you'd expect the screen and controls to feel smooth, right? Fast, smart, like something from 2025. But a lot of owners say it's more like using an old smartphone with a cracked screen and laggy Wi-Fi. You tap it, nothing happens. Tap it again, still nothing. Then suddenly, three things open at once and your Bluetooth drops. Frustrating, right? And that's where it gets annoying. Because when you're driving, you don't want to fight with your screen. You just want your music to play, your maps to load, and your calls to connect, without drama. And when you compare that experience to, say, a Tesla, where everything's smooth, snappy, and kind of addictive, if it continues like this, 2027 Toyota BZ will be many steps behind. Toyota has pushed out a few software updates, but honestly, there's no big overhaul yet. It still feels a little clunky for what's supposed to be a cutting-edge EV. It's like buying a brand new smart home and then realizing the light switches still flicker and the Wi-Fi drops every time you microwave popcorn. So yeah, small thing? Maybe. But for modern EV drivers, that digital experience really matters. Final thought. So here's the thing. If we look at how Toyota has handled complaints in the past, especially in BZ, I'd say their average responsiveness is around 35%. Yeah, that means about a third of the major issues get addressed. The rest? Kinda linger. So when you're looking at the upcoming 2027 Toyota BZ, it's not just about what's new, it's about what's still there. You really have to ask yourself, which complaints from previous years are likely to stick around? Charging speed? Cold weather range drops? Infotainment glitches? Those don't just disappear unless there's a major hardware change. And that's where it gets real, because it all comes down to you. Are those things you can live with? Or deal breakers? Bottom line, if you can accept the weaknesses, then yeah, you might really enjoy what the BZ does right. But if not, might be worth looking at the competition.